I'm about to metaphorically leave for a pack of cigarettes and never come back with my mother. I am about to metaphorically go to the store for a pack of cigarettes and never come back with my mother. I am 37M and my mother and father have both been absolute garbage parents. But my mother is legitimately making me crazy. From as early as I can remember in elementary school, she would be in and out of the emergency room, although at the time I didn't understand what was going on and her partner shielded me from her behaviors. After that could no longer continue, she and I moved in with her mother, my grandmother. She was into drugs and night clubbing after we left grandma's, and I would often be between places of my various family members. My mom would always be out at night, and sometimes I would stay with my grandmother, sometimes my dad. It was complicated with custody until I was 14, and my grandmother finally got full custody of me, and I lived with her until I was 27. I took care of her in her old age, as she had taken care of me in my time of need. During that time, my mom spent her time on and off drugs, and avoiding a mental diagnosis. I was told when she was a kid, she would pinch herself on the cheeks until the blood vessels popped, so she would get attention. I just wanted to mention that somewhere before I forgot. I feel it goes hand in hand with the emergency room game she has played her whole life. At any rate, she would eventually guilt my grandmother into letting her move back in with us, and she again brought chaos into our lives. She would fight her medications to stay awake, and on multiple occasions I came home to the oven on with burned food in it. She once left the apartment wandering around naked. She did that again, but also crapped in the carpet, and emergency services woke us up and told us what she had been up to. There were other things, but all this came to a head when my grandmother got her hip replaced, and while she was in rehabilitation, my mother stole all of my grandmother's pain medication. We kicked her out, and she was on the skids for a while, but managed to get a social worker and got to a semi-normal life. There were dramas here and there, but things went sideways when my grandmother passed. I was going through a divorce and the pandemic at the time, and I basically shunned everyone whether they deserved it or not. I blocked her and didn't talk to anyone in my family for at least a year, but longer for some. Coming out the other side of all that, I wanted to give my mother another chance, because for all intents and purposes things had been not awful as far as I knew for her. I talked to her, and I really thought she had moved past all the drama in her life once and for all. That was until September of 2025. She has been into the emergency room for legitimate and non-legitimate issues, numbering over a dozen times since then. On top of that, she has all but abandoned her therapy dog in the process of these visits. Additionally, over the course of the time I was not speaking with her, she has had multiple yelling arguments with her neighbors in her senior living apartments. She has driven everyone away in our family. Her 3 sisters won't have anything to do with her, and I am on the screen to change my phone number as I type this out. I work night shift, but my phone never stops going off with phone calls from her doctor's office, her neighbors complaining about her dog, and her wanting me to run back and forth and bring her this and go do that. I have begged her to take care of herself, but she doesn't follow any kind of diet for her diabetes, and obviously doesn't take care of her feet. She's not even 60. She is on nothing for her mental illness, and I truthfully don't know what that diagnosis is. In the 90s and early aughts it was bipolar, but is also claimed to have borderline personality disorder and disassociating tendencies. You can't ever really tell what the truth is. She also is on Percocet for her back, and if I know one thing about her, she knows exactly when she's supposed to see the doctor that prescribes those. She always knows how many she has, and the first question she asked me in one of her more recent ER visits was if her pills were still at home. She tells the doctors she is allergic to many medications that are for mental illnesses. Currently, she sits in a hospital bed having just had multiple toes amputated and is down to 6. Today, she was kicked out of the physical rehabilitation place after 36 hours because she claimed she spent the entire time vomiting and they told her they were not able to meet her medical needs. She claims to have porphyria, and that's what caused the vomiting, but then also told me her doctor could not figure out why she was vomiting. While I know she has a legitimate case of diabetes that is severe and an untreated mental illness, I am at my breaking point trying to make sure she has what she needs. She doesn't seem to put forth a real effort into taking care of herself. She's abusing her dog by not being home and leaving it to her neighbors to ensure she's taken care of. Before the pattern arose, I did take her dog in for a week, but with my household, it was easily one of the worst experiences of my life, and I am no longer willing to do that. If I change my phone number, it would be very difficult for her to contact me. I would essentially be giving up on her in her time of need and letting whatever happens to her and her dog happen. This is literally my last resort. The hospital social workers have not listened to me, and as long as she has insurance, they will continue to treat anything she walks in with, but she will never get better. As I type this, it is 4 a.m. I called out of work to make sure she had clothing, because when they kicked her out of the rehabilitation place, they didn't send her bag with her. She has just now texted me asking me to bring her a phone charger because they didn't pack it. They didn't pack it because she stuffed it in between her mattress, and they didn't see it. Respond how you will. I don't know what I am going to do yet.